Guys, today we're checking out a bike that may be nicer than a lot of my Engwe bikes that I got. I got the Engine Pro maybe like 2 years ago. This one is called the Luckeep X1 Pro. It is a foldable dual battery bike. It has a positional seat on there. It also has different than white wall style tires, but they are 20-inch by 4-inch tires. It has a 750 watt motor in the rear. The larger battery is a 16AH 768 watt hour battery. It does have a locking mechanism right here, and it slides in and out on the back rail frame right there. The reserve battery is up front, and it's 12.8 AH 614 watt hours. The X1 Pro's tires are not quite knobby tires. They're more of a street tire, and they are 20-inch by 4-inch fat tire bikes made by a company called Aostirmotor. And we've got a super sturdy back bike rack, which is expandable to a back compartment that you can bolt onto it. We've got open and closable front shocks on the front, as well as the LED light, which just mounts onto one bolt in the front. The bike also comes with these brown leather handle grips and room for adding a rearview mirror on each side, and a twist throttle here. It has 7 Shimano gears, and it has front and back brakes that are hydraulic. In the center, we have that foldable screen that goes up and down. It shows my time, my trip, how many miles I've gone so far. I've gone 7.5 miles on the bike. You can see Bluetooth is active, as well as the light and the battery level there, as well as my miles per hour. You can also change that to kilometers, which is kind of cool. Now, this is where it gets really fun, because I can map my ride on here. I can do my distance, my speed, my average speed, max speed, cycling time, and all that cool stuff. If I go into the settings here, this is kind of cool because this lets me turn up the screen brightness, and you can see it gets a little bit brighter or dimmer. That's all the way up right there at 3. And you can turn it all the way down to 2, to 1, and let me go back in there real quick. I will change it all the way up to 3 again. You just slide your finger across and it makes it brighter. So for the bright sunny days, you can bring it all the way up to 3. On the darker days, you can bring it down, save a little bit of energy. It has Bluetooth assistant. It also has instrument upgrade, which none of my other e-bikes do have that yet. So I thought that was super cool that I can just go in here once I'm connected to the internet. I can check for a new version. Right now it's up with the latest firmware. It's just so cool to me because most of my drones have firmware updates, but not my instrument panels for my bike features and options. So this company seems to be a company that's going to add new features and functions over time for their bikes. That's pretty cool for customer service on e-bikes. You don't see that a lot with the less expensive e-bikes. Mostly you see that for the higher end $3,000 to $4,000 bikes. And one last thing about this bike, it does have a magnesium alloy frame, so that's really what's setting it apart from a lot of the other steel type frames. This is a little nicer finish on this bike. It makes it kind of stand out in the crowd. All right, guys, I got the bike connected to the Bluetooth on my phone's app, so we're gonna go ahead and take a ride, and let's see what this bike's all about. So I gotta tell you, my first impression was that the power on the motor feels good. It even, like, let's test out the gears. So gear 1 right here, we're up to 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So like in gear 1, I'm already all the way up to like 24, 23, 25. So it seems like it wants to go top speed. 28 miles per hour in gear mode number 1. So if I put it in 5, I'm definitely gonna get like 30 miles per hour out of that. It's pretty fast, really good torque on the motor. All right, so let's go ahead and test out 5. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, almost 27. See how fast we can come to a stop signs here. Using both brakes, pretty quick. About 20 feet. So yeah, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of difference between like gear 1 and 5, which is kind of strange. I was testing it yesterday, and I feel like gear 1 was getting me somewhere around 12 to 13 miles per hour. And right now I'm in just pedal mode, no assist. And I am in, let's see, Shimano gear 7. I can gear down if I want to, all the way down to 1 for granny gear, 2, 3, And 4, 5, 6. Right about 4 seems to be fine. And I can still pedal on 3 to 4. And just a standard, now we got a little bit of a hill, so I'll go down to 1, test out the granny gear. Okay. I got about 20 PSI in each tire. That's what's recommended on the bike. So we'll take it a little bit off-road. It's not really off-road tires on here because it kind of has like, almost like a medium grade type of tread on this tire. Not quite as slick, but not really a trail tire either. We'll see how it balances out through the rocks on the trail through here. And you know, I find myself wishing that these handlebars were wider, so I had a little more balance and kind of handlebar balance through some of these trails. But again, it's not a trail bike. But check out the beautiful trails we have in Oregon. So I'm gonna go ahead and power up to speed mode 1. Go ahead and hit the twist throttle on my right. Take me right up this hill. So I'm like 150, 155 pounds. And I have plenty of power to get up that hill. If you're around 200, this bike will get you uphill, no problem. So a lot of times through the trails like this, I'll turn off assist just because like it'll kind of throw you off the trail into a tree. I've had that happen to me before. And same thing when I'm coming up to a stop sign. I was telling somebody that's new to e-bikes yesterday, like turn off your power for your pedals when you're coming up to a stop sign, because it'll kind of throw you into the street. If you're not, sometimes you're just not expecting that extra burst of power. And again, like there's so many rocks through that section of the trail. I've crashed through that section of the trail on a different e-bike. And that was not cool. I hit my pedal on one of the rocks that were kind of low. So keep your pedals up on the trails. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go back into speed mode. I'm in 2 right now. We got plenty of power. And you know, generally I don't like to go super fast on my bikes because I've had some really kind of like hard wipeouts before. Guys going really slow. And I was mentioning to my partner that yesterday when her and I were riding to get some tacos on the bikes, that this one felt okay at speed. It felt comfortable and solid at a high speed. I mean, some of the bikes that I get, you know, they're around $500–600. And it makes me uncomfortable to ride like 30 miles an hour on a cheaper made bike. But this one feels good. It doesn't feel super cheap. It feels solid. Just about to vibrate my phone off the handlebars. It's not the best phone mount there, but it goes on and off the bikes easy. All right. I think it's one of the Nightlight brands phone mounts. Now we're going through some more trail here. And right now I'm in speed mode number 2. So I'm just gonna back off that mode a little bit. I'm in gear mode 1 on the Shimano gears. I could probably go to gear 3, gear up just a little bit, give myself an assist. And you know, this is another thing you can change. You can change the softness of the assist, how much torque right away that you get. That would be great for people that like to trail ride, because you know, I don't like to be just kind of like all of a sudden jerked around by the throttle assist. The other cool thing about this bike is that inside the app, you can change from, you can have twist throttle only, or you can have assist only, no twist throttle, which is cool. So you can make it both or one or the other. So if you don't like one, you don't want twist throttle, you can turn that off, which is awesome. I'm not a big fan of the twist throttle. I kind of like the thumb throttle myself a little bit better. So right here, I got a little bit of a hill here. I'm gonna go ahead and use my twist throttle to get myself up the hill. Just a little bit of a hill. All right. Coming up on your right. Hey guy. Hey yo. Yo yo. All right. Pretty good hill right here. And this phone mount hasn't failed me yet. I'm surprised it didn't going off the curb just then. So the max that I got out of this bike so far, my test was like 28 miles per hour. It says it'll do 30 on the website, but we have a lot of hills around here. So, you know, going downhill, I'm sure I could get 40 miles per hour, 35 miles per hour easy on this bike. We have some huge hills. But I love the wheels. I love the style of the frame. The magnesium alloy looks killer. I like the LED in the front. I wish the handlebars were a little bit wider. I think one of the nice things about this bike is that the brakes came adjusted. So if I need to stop, it'll even stop fast. Like it'll skid a tire, which is cool. It'll also do a burnout. It'll do a donut. I tried it in the driveway yesterday on the rocks and it like literally will burn out. So the motor is really, it feels powerful when you want it. And again, I can turn my lights on and off here from the phone. Just on, off. Shows me I'm at 70%. They say this bike will do 100 miles with both batteries on there. So that's actually more than even one of my long range bikes that claims it'll do like 180. But I've yet to see 180 miles out of an e-bike yet. But I have to say, this is one of my nicest, probably one of my nicest e-bikes that I have. Like frame-wise, style, the handle grips, the kind of leather style handle grips, leather seat. I like the old school 80s retro, like brown walled tires on the side. That reminds me of like BMX bikes back in the day. You guys probably had a bike that had tires like that. Just kind of brings me back to my childhood. I love that style. Another guy saw this bike a couple days ago when I was riding it to the store. And his comment was, "Hey man, that's a nice bike." Like dropping some F-bombs because of the style of the bike. So I think people like the way this one looks. And if I decide to get rid of this bike, it won't take me long to get rid of it because yeah, it's one of my favorites that I have right now as far as looks, quality, speed, motor, distance, dual battery. It's kind of like another long range style bike, but with style. It's not such a thick and heavy frame like that G-Force bike that we reviewed. But if you like bike reviews, e-bike reviews, skateboards, and all kinds of cool stuff like that, and drones, be sure to subscribe on my channel because we definitely got some more cool stuff coming up for summertime. There's a bunch of new cool stuff coming in. So please subscribe, click that notification bell for when the new videos come out. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.